Raider Mike, longtime friend in Arlington. What's happening, Mike? Thanks for checking in.
And no problem, Brick. My friend. Hey, thanks for taking the call, JT. With Van Smack across the pond, I can't think of nobody better to carry the standard. Personally, it's been a rough week. I just lost a good friend. But, JT, it's that time of year when NFL players are reporting to camp, and us folks are getting fired up in the Raider Nation. Hey, some of the first words, out of Napa were from beat writer Vic Defer, who tweeted "car scrambling!" ! That, JT, that's going to be the key to the Raider offense this year. And personally, dude, I've been passing the off season toying with these local update scrubs here in the Dallas Sports Talk Radio market. And here in Dallas, everyone's knees are knocking over Elliott's holdout. But I'm telling you, another crisis they have coming up is Amari Cooper. First of all, I'm high on Coop. He's a high-character guy. He's also a technician of a route runner. What's more, he's faster than his listed 4.42 40 time. He was mistimed at the combine. Google it. The NFL Network, they spliced together a CGI race with Cooper, Kevin Smith, and Devontae Parker, which Coop won. And, Smith's timed 40 was 4.37. So I'm figuring Coop ran about a 4.35. But, having said all of that, though, the Raiders absolutely made the right move trading him. Cooper, he is frustratingly inconsistent, which Dallas fans saw last year when dude had 2 or 3 big games that averaged 5 catches for 50 yards in the other games. Disappearing for stretches at a time. Frustrating. But more importantly, JT, Amari Cooper is soft. You look at your elite wide receivers in this league, Beckham, Nuck, Hopkins, Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, even Antonio Brown. Those cats are all alpha dogs. Nobody's pushing those guys off their routes, and nobody's taking that ball away from them. Cooper wants $16 million per. His agent is out of his mind. That is elite wide receiver money, but he is no alpha dog. Raider fans learned this during Coop's first home game as a pro, when Pac-Man Jones kicked his ass on the playground and stole his lunch money. Forget about the drop passes. Amari Cooper is not an alpha dog. He is not an elite wide receiver. Paying $16 million to a decoy that just opens the game up for Zeke Elliott, that isn't good business. JT, real quick, I'm fired up about my friend Eric Carroll's a class act coming in today. Dude is the all-time leading home run hitter for first baseman in LA Dodger history. And EK, when I lived back in SoCal back in the day, he used to leave me ducats at the yard for games. You give him my regards, JT, and I'll be talking to you soon, man.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. I couldn't disagree with you more on Amari Cooper. I don't have anything bad to say about him. I think Amari is misunderstood. He played hard for the Raiders. He was quiet. I'm the sideline reporter for the team on TV. He doesn't do many interviews. We spoke to him last year, and he was excited about his future. The problem is with Amari Cooper is he has the same agent as Khalil Mack, Joel Siegel. And Joel Siegel is a mercenary who wants to get his players the most amount of money, period, no matter where they play. So remember, the reason why the Raiders moved off of Khalil Mack was because they couldn't afford it. And for those who say, how could they not afford it? Their team wasn't any good. They weren't going to give Khalil Mack $60 million guaranteed, $90 million total on a defense that was ranked 26th or 25th in the league. So John Gruden looked at the team and said completely, there's no chance we're going to win with these players. And Jack Del Rio got a lot out of those players. They were 12-4 in 2016 when Derek Carr broke his leg. But Gruden came in, and I talked about this with Gruden this weekend. Last year at training camp, Gruden pulled me aside and said, we got to get this back on track. And I looked at him, and I didn't get it at that moment. I said, what does he mean by this? This is a pretty good roster. It wasn't. Gruden lifted up the hood of the car, the Raider Nation vehicle, and said, I can't win with these guys. For whatever reason it was. And the first move was to get rid of Mack. Gruden never wanted to get rid of Mack. Gruden came to the Raiders to coach Mack, but they couldn't afford to give him $60 million guaranteed and then build the team around it. So they get those draft picks out of Chicago. Mack is a beast. Love Khalil Mack. I grew up with Lawrence Taylor. Ray Lewis, Lawrence Taylor. I put Khalil Mack in that boat. But getting back to Amari Cooper, once Gruden realized that he could get a first-round pick for a guy who was going to hold out again because he had the same exact agent that we were talking about as Khalil Mack. Gruden said, I'm not going down this road anymore. There's no way we can go down this road. And they ended up moving him. Now we'll see what happens, because the last I looked, when Amari Cooper was balling out in Dallas, he's the reason they went to the playoffs. It gave Dak Prescott all the confidence in the world to be elite or borderline elite, and you had a dual threat. Ezekiel Elliott running it off of play action, and Amari Cooper breaking through coverage. Jerry Jones is going to pay Dak, Zeke, unless Zeke completely screws up, and Amari Cooper. Because if Jerry Jones doesn't find a way to go out and pay for Amari Cooper, what a waste of a trade it was, as Jones believes he is back and he's going to try to get to the next level.